What are your prospecting methods?
Yeah. So would you like me to just go down the list? I got it pulled up right here.
Do it. Give me the list.
Let's go. So we got cold email. We
Yep.
send anywhere between 2,000 to 3,000 emails a day.
Can we spend like 2 or 3 minutes on each of these before we go through the whole list?
Sure. Yeah.
So
what would you like to know?
The first one is cold emailing. That's when you're sending a real life business owner a message saying, hey, are you interested in more X? Correct? Like more clients, more customers. If it's bike shops, Argon 18 sales. If it's car washes, platinum premium packages or something like that. What I've been taught by Joel Kaplan, who's where I learned how to cold email from, is that like if you're sending out like 5 to 10,000 things a day, you're not getting any responses, change that X. So if like you're sending chiropractors a message saying like, hey, do you want more patients? They're not responding. Get more specific. Do you want more like NLP neuropathy patients, or like $5,000 package sales? So like change that X. Is that about right?
That's exactly right.
Okay, there you go.
And just a lot of people are doing cold email now, so just try to make it a little different, and then change it up as well. Like we go through our entire list that we scrape from these data aggregators, and then once we're done, we start back up with a new verbiage, right?
A new X, yeah.
A new X, yeah.
Very cool. So cold emailing is one of them.
Cold emailing, and then cold calling. We do about 1,000 calls a day, and pretty much verbiage.
So
did I say 1,000?
Yeah.
100. Sorry.
Okay, 100. Yeah, that comma's in the wrong spot. Okay, but yeah, so 100 cold calls a day. Gotcha.
100. And the message is essentially the same. Like, hey, we're doing X, Y, and Z for business owners just like you. Would you be interested in an extra 20 to 30 new clients, customers, patients, whatever it may be a month? If yes, for cold calling, we say, hey, can we talk to the chiropractor, or can we talk to the agent?
Yeah.
For email, it would be something like respond back yes with your best cell phone number, and respond back no. So if you'd like to be taken off the list.
So your cold call, is that like a voicemail drop or like a robot, or is that a real life person?
No, that's like cold calling.
Gotcha. Okay, so you have a person doing the cold calls. Do you have to pay like somebody in your office to do that, or is there like a cold calling service, or how do you find a cold caller, right?
Yeah, so I've hired my second VA. She has really, really good English. So that's what part of what she does is she does the cold calls.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Next one is Facebook messaging. So with Facebook messaging, it's the same thing as the email. We're targeting people, like say if we're going after chiropractors, we get a list of chiropractors and we send them Facebook messages.
Gotcha.
You can only send out 30 a day, or you will kind of get flagged. And be careful, because I've also here lately have noticed that it's like you can only do like 5 or 8 an hour.
Yeah. There's definitely a ratio between the sends and the responses. Like even in my group, in this group, where like there's like, hey, I'm interested, here's the link, all this stuff. And I don't like doing comment letters, but that's Facebook rules. So I have to like have level of engagement. Otherwise the group will eventually just disappear. That's just how Facebook set this up. So we have to do comment letters. And I will PM people saying, hey, ready for the link? And if I don't get a response between like 0 and 10 messages, I can't send an 11th message. It'll say like, hey, you've been limited, or like you get like, please stop spamming, or some type of thing. Let us know if this is a mistake, like those types of messages. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's when you just start messaging your wife or your best friend and have them
somebody respond back, please.
Please. Like, you develop like a little group so that you guys could do that. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good idea. I haven't thought of that. Just like, there you go.
Yep.
Fourth one, Facebook connections. You can make anywhere between 80 to 100 connections a day. And the kind of strategy behind that is to make connections, hopefully so that they follow you. And that as you're putting content on your personal page, for example, like if you niche down into like dentistry and you're following dentists, and then you put, content about dentists, that hopefully they'll reach out to you.
So that's on your personal profile, right? So you give your VA a VPN and LastPass, they log in, they work the magic.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Or never mind, I'm not going to say that.
Well, just that's different. Yeah, I know what you're going to say. That's different.
Yeah. Anyway, moving forward. Facebook, same thing with Facebook messaging and connections. You do that same thing with Instagram messaging and connections, right? Let's see, LinkedIn messages. There's some cool software out there that you could like friend a bunch of people, and then when they message you back, it sends out an automated message as well.
Yeah.
That's another one. Which one are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then LinkedIn connections, kind of the same thing with Facebook and Instagram connections, right?
Gotcha.
Facebook group value add. So like, for example, if there's a big Facebook group for dentists or chiropractors, you just go in there and just add value every single day, and don't try to be spammy about it.
Yep.
Just kind of position yourself as kind of like the go-to marketing person.
I want to spend a couple minutes talking about that because like I know it. I know how this works is you have to have a business, you have to have something to sell, and I'm okay with people doing it honestly inside of the butt group. I get it. You run a business 100%. But what I've discovered is that if you're PMing on the side, that builds a really bad tribe. And more importantly, you don't get what's 14,000 views sometimes on a good answer. So like I highly recommend that if you're part of groups where your target tribe hangs out with, engage on the threads, have a real life conversation. And like I see the analytics all the time. Like we have some threads that get 14,000, 10,000, 5,000 views. Like that can't happen when you're side PMing people. And when you side PM people, it feels kind of like, who are you and what are you trying to do, right? But if you're having like really awesome Q&As, answering questions on the thread, you're being obvious and explicit and like, here's what I would do if I were you type answers, you will have thousands of people looking at it, and then they will PM you, or they'll look at your personal profile and you let your personal profile take over from there. Just as like a side note.
Perfect.
Cool.
Yeah, you would be, I mean, you run this huge group, so you'd be more insightful for that. Let's see. Next one is personal branding. So like, just like I said, on your Facebook page, you're developing your personal brand as the industry leader in whatever industry you're working in. And I have written here, my goal is to do like 3 to 5 videos per week, and usually anywhere between 3 stories per day.
Gotcha. Right? So it's Facebook stories, Instagram stories, and all that, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So is that where you're doing like the whiteboard videos?
Yes, exactly. Those are like the videos per week, right?
Gotcha.
So those are, so I just started developing my personal brand. This has actually just been, all of these has been started in the past like 6 months. And I actually just started like my YouTube channel and like just providing value, you know.
Yeah.
It's not going to work in the short term, but it's really like a long-term play.
Building assets.
Right? Yeah. Eventually you're building that social proof. And here recently, I'm starting to find out that it's being a lot more competitive in the marketplace. And what's separating like the top dogs from the people who are just kind of like struggling a little bit is the personal branding.
Yep.
Right. The assets that they have behind themselves and the social proof. Like when you're messaging someone on cold email and they look up your company or your name, you actually come up and there's like cool stuff about you. Versus like you can't find anything and someone's thinking it's a scam.
So it was interesting. Like I didn't know I was personal branding. Andrew Cruzy was like guiding me through this process. He's one of my mentors, and it's highly unlikely like you and I would be talking if it wasn't for him. So I'm giving him honest credit. It's like, Jeff, you've got a green screen studio. Stop being and start using it, right? And I was like, fine, okay. And I literally shot these like Jeff Miller 90-second marketing videos. Like, hey everybody, my name is Jeff. And here's 90 seconds on emailing or whatever. And I would run that $5 a day, every day. I had 5 videos, so Facebook would like choose which one it wanted to spend money on. But everybody that was a business owner in Miami, that was my targeting on Facebook. So I'd walk into a chamber of commerce or BNI, they'd be like, have I seen you before? And I'm like,
oh, I know you. Yeah.
I think you have. You've seen my videos. And that accelerated the you're not going to screw me over and you're not a fly-by-night conversation. That just made it okay. Like, I'm not going to screw you. Yes, I know what I'm talking about. It's going to be okay to pay me money type conversation. And that's ultimately like what led to people saying, I'm comfortable spending not $1,500 a month, but $2,000, $5,000, and $10,000 a month. Because the last thing they want to do is be screwed. And that's what happens a lot with like internet marketing. It's just so easy to disappear when things go wrong, that if they knew of you and then you reinforce that conversation in person, it's like it was totally okay to spend an F ton of money really, really quickly.
That's why people are spending so much money on Tesla for trucks that
don't exist yet.
Yeah.
Look, for the record, I'm just a little bit salty because I kind of want a truck, but I kind of don't want a truck because I know the first version is going to be horrible. But I don't care if it's ugly or not. It's great marketing. So everybody flame me in the comments. Thank you very much. Yeah, there you
go. The next one, Facebook ads.
Yep.
Facebook ads actually is probably number one for us, and I would probably say cold email is number two.
Yep.
Facebook ads, referral groups, kind of like the BNI and Chamber of Commerce events, seminar talks, talks at BNI events and Chamber of Commerce events, a referral program. If you don't have a referral program implemented, make sure that you have a referral program.
So just a couple seconds, like for everybody that's saying a referral program, I'm like, guys, it's not as hard as you think. If you want to make it really advanced, you can read Jay Abraham's book on how to get everything out of all you got. There's like 1.5 billion referral programs. I'm not kidding. Each and every one of those is like just a paragraph, literally just a paragraph describing the referral program. And honestly, like if you just put on your email saying like, if you refer me a client, I'll pay you $500. That's your referral program. Like that's it. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need a manual. I'm sure you could if you'd like it. But for most people inside the IC, their referral program is literally just like a line on their email, and that's it. I don't know if you have any like different conversations, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and every single one of my demo, the slide that's like a couple things to keep in mind. It's like, hey, we'll pay you $250 a month if you refer us a client for the life of the client.
And that's probably your Facebook ads costs and client acquisition costs anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So you might as well just give it to somebody who likes you instead of like somebody else, right?
Exactly. And I was getting off the phone with a client today, and he was like, "Ooh, $250. I know like 6 people, and I can get my services paid for free." And I was like,
"Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can. Let's do that as soon as possible. That'd be awesome. Thank you very much."
That's so funny. It's like you really should be referring out people that you generally like believe deserve business that can deliver a great service. But for some reason, fine. If it takes money to keep it top of mind, okay. And so like for everybody watching, I think the easiest thing you can do right now after listening to like Justin and his journey is just include that in your demo and include that at the bottom of your emails. That's it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that little, that's probably got me 10, 12, 15 clients over the past 6 months just from doing that.
Beautiful.
And the last one I have here is, I don't know if I've heard anyone talk about this. I know a lot of people don't talk about it. Door knocking.
Interesting.
I know a lot of people are in the digital space and trying to do cold email, cold calling, and reaching out to people they don't know. But I think there's a lot of value, especially if you position yourself right in the market and people know who you are, that you could go door knocking to businesses and potentially break down that, like, I don't know who you are kind of barrier, right?
Yep.
And you're sitting in front of someone, you're going through maybe not even just a demo. The best like clients that I've ever got have been like just me sitting down in front of them and just talking about marketing, and then they're like, yeah, I like it. The biggest client I've ever got was $3,500 a month, 3-month contract, so over $10,000 from door knocking.
Beautiful.
It was a tractor dealership. And
there's so much money out there. There's just so much.
I may or may not have thrown in that I used to rodeo and ride bulls to the tractor dealer. And he's like, you know what? I kind of like you, boy.
Oh my God, the accent.
He's like, I don't usually take appointments from solicitors, but how about we talk tomorrow at 3:00? And I was like,
beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful.